Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I was wrong on some of these Pokemon investments. These are some of my biggest failures to date. I hate talking about my failures, but I learned a lot about some of these cards. I'll even give you a grade in why I bought these cards, what I was thinking, and why it failed. This is Miriam, and I bought this card and I had very high hopes for this card. I still love this card, and I bought this and I was like, man, this thing's a great card for my collection. I love like Pikachu in the background right there in the window. I absolutely love this card. I thought this card was going to explode. And so at the time, I paid more of a premium for the card, and I would give this an investment score of 4 out of 10 because it went down in value. And sometimes you can't believe the hype. Sometimes you're wrong. This was a speculative hype. Or a speculative card because I just saw the artwork on this and thought this was one of the best cards in the set. I thought it would be worth worth like 30 bucks. But at the end of the day, it did have a lot of launch hype, popular trainer character, and to me it looked like a future girl. So I would, unless you want it for your personal collection, I would pass on this for now. I paid a little bit more than I wish I had. So investment score 4 out of 10. Still love the card. So this Charizard sells for a couple $100 now, but this is the SIR from Obsidian Flames, score 3 out of 10. I would say that I paid $100 more for this card. It was a unique card for myself, my collection. I'll hold on to it as one of my biggest losses to this day. And if you have this card, I would just hold on to it. Maybe there's a market for it, but a lot of people hated this card. When I saw it, I thought it was like, man, maybe this is the next major Charizard. Completely wrong on this card. It's not the same as I said it here is Pikachu with all the diamonds on it, the diamond crested Pikachu, but this has too much going on, too much pop, too much glam. I still personally will keep it for my collection and take my losses, take my lumps, but I just don't think this will ever recover. And if it does, at that point, I'm just gonna keep it. The Iona SIR. So the raw price today was $38. It's down 42%. Iona is one of the cards that I have always thought was gonna be a more popular trainer. The score is a 3 out of 10 because I overpaid for this when it came out, and because I couldn't collect it on my own. And so the SRRs from Paldea Evolved, always hard to pull these cards. And you pulled it, great on you. You got a $38 card, but from where it was sitting, it just really overpaid. And this is what it comes down to, guys. I overpaid for a lot of these cards. And so what I'm telling you right now, they might be a good buy for you right now, but for me at the time when I bought it, and then it's another Iona SIR. I just think these cards are beautiful. The full view of the cards. I wish they would do all their cards like this, fully illustrated. I think SIRs should always be worth money, but the demand is just not as high for Iona. For this one's from the Paldean Fates. I'd give this score 4 out of 10. I also lost money on this card as well. And when I collect a card, I do it for my personal collection, but also I want to collect things that are worth money, right? Like I really do. I want to have a collection that's valuable that I can pass down to my kids or trade. Like no one will trade me for cards that aren't valuable, and so I always try to, and if you get duplicates of a card, but I could never pull this card and then I end up buying it and losing a bunch of money. Arvin SRR, 2 out of 10, completely wrong. I thought it would be long-term demand. Huge pass. I just would pass on this card and never pick it up. The raw price today is about $8.50. If you need it for your master set, pick it up. But I don't want to talk about this card anymore because I lost huge on this one. I hate this card. I never will buy this card again. Ever again. Okay, so a lot of you guys are thinking like, hey, this Magikarp's going up from Paldea Evolved, $407 raw. I was completely wrong on the hype. The investment score is a 6 out of 10. I still would get it, but it's a long-term hold and wait. I think this card should be worth thousands of dollars. I personally believe, and I have 2 of these sitting in my collection that I'm waiting to either trade one of them or sell. But this is one of the best Magikarps around, in my humble opinion. And the card is not massively outperformed. Did for a little bit, but now it's just steady. I'm just waiting, I'm holding, I'm getting these cards graded, and I'll probably have to wait for another 5 or 6 more years for people to realize how awesome this card is. I know it's useless in the game, but the artwork on this is spectacular. Love this Magikarp, and I will probably hold on to the 2 copies I have because I will never sell it for undervalue or trade it for undervalue. Here is the Lugia V-Star. So I didn't insanely overpay for this card, and so right now it's going for $23. I probably picked it up for around $30. The investment score is still 7 out of 10 because I thought that a lot of people, I thought this card would be in low demand. I thought the pop on this would be low, turning out to not be the case. But as far as collectability, I love this Lugia card. I know a lot of people don't love gold cards. I do like some of the gold cards. This is one of my favorite ones in the Lugia V-Star. So I would say hold. I think at some points it had a huge, because of reprints and stuff, it went down in value. But this is one of those cards that was the biggest mistake I made, but I did lose money on this. And I'm hoping that it'll recover someday. So, man, here's one that I still think in my investment score is 8 out of 10. I love these in every Chinese version, Korean version, English version, Japan version. I thought this card would be worth hundreds of dollars. So I bought a couple of them to get graded. None of them graded well, and I lost a ton of money on these. I don't think these will ever recover. For my personal collection, I love them, and I'll trade them. But I got 10 of these that I was trying to just get some in a BGS 10 and got none of them. So huge loss on my part. Not my biggest loss, but definitely will never do that again. We have the Umbreon VMAX Korean version of this card, and I overpaid for this one when I first bought it from somebody, and I paid way more than I needed to do, but I still think it's an 8 out of 10 as far as investment score, because I do think this will recover. This is going to be one of the all-time best Umbreons ever created, and so I'm still very high on this card, but I learned my mistakes, and different versions of cards just don't do well sometimes, but to have them in different languages is super cool. I never will regret that, and so I still think this is an 8 out of 10. Then we have the Pikachu SIR, 5 out of 10. I still think this card is spectacular, in my opinion. That's why I give it a 5 out of 10. But to say that I overpaid for this card would be an understatement. I got fleeced. I got beat up when it first came out. I thought these cards were the next big thing, and I loved it. My wife warned me. She's like, I hate these cards. I'm just like, why do you hate these cards? It's Pikachu. It's cute. Beautiful. Diamonds. Love it. Love silver. And my wife's like, no, it's overhyped. And I got fleeced. I got taken to the cleaners. And because it's still in my collection, because I still love it, I'm overpaid for it, but I was wrong on it. Here we have the Warring Moon EX SIR in the Japanese version, $33. I thought the market for this was in the hundreds of dollars. Still one of my favorite probably my favorite Warring Moon card. Never will leave my collection. 6 out of 10. Overpaid, overpriced. If you want to buy when the market's low on cards, on certain cards, the market's always going up on different cards because there's so many cards. It's medium to high. Supply, I think the supply is high on this, and I think the popularity, maybe this makes a comeback, but I'm not out on Japanese cards for Pokemon cards, but I've slowed down on buying them because it's just, some cards take off, other ones don't. I don't understand. I can understand with One Piece, but with Pokemon, I don't understand the market for certain Japanese cards, and so it frustrates me to no end. This Mew EX SIR, it's a 5 out of 10. I love this. I love how what they did with the Mew EX Gold card. This is what I think they should do, is put the Mew card, or put the Pokemon card in its color on the gold background. I think that looks amazing to me. $34. At the time, I spent way more than I needed to. And collector, eBay, they don't track what, if you buy from a friend or something, and they weren't doing anything wrong. I just overpaid. And so you can pull this one fairly simple. Since I bought it, I pulled 2 of these. And so I just, in the 151 set, as soon as I bought it, I pulled 2, and I'm just like, wow, I wasted, and then you can't even make your money back by trading or selling anymore. So I have mediocre hope that this will recover someday, but my heart will not. I love how cute this is, and I don't regret picking it up. Here we go. I was wrong about this Charizard EX SIR 151 for the PSA 10 out of 10. I think it's going to go down as one of the more popular cards ever created, but the PSA card is so high. I put high on this, but it is insanely high on the PSA report. And then there's still some cards There's still a lot of 151 out there, a lot of 151. There's a lot of these cards to find. I would say that having a couple of these was probably not my wisest day, but I was able to, I didn't lose my money on this. I just broke even on these cards. I just thought that the PSA pop would be low on this. I was wrong, because this was during the time that PSA was going not under, but they were just getting cards to the system and not caring about the grades on cards. And I have some cards that are PSA 10 that shouldn't be PSA 10s. I have no BGS cards in here. This is when I should have transitioned to BGS sooner on this card, but this is a hold. Eventually, like, I think it will be worth thousands and thousands of dollars, but I think there's a long-term play, and there's so many PSA cards in this. I'll just crack and submit to Beckett, like, in my humble opinion. It's one of my favorite Charizards, if not the best Charizard. When you zoom on it, but the overall appeal of this card is beautiful. Those are my biggest mistakes. Combined, obviously, I've recovered and I've made my money thousands over, but I've lost thousands. One Piece has saved my butt. I understand One Piece a little bit more. The artwork on there, and I listen to my wife from time to time because she has an eye of picking out great cards. But I hope you enjoyed this video of my biggest mistakes, where I was wrong. Let me know your biggest. What card did you buy that you're like, oh gosh, I wish I could have bought this cheaper? Even if it's just for your master set, you could have bought it cheaper somewhere else. Or if you just waited a month or two. My biggest mistakes were always buying when sets came out, and I'm like, I gotta have this card. If I would have just waited a couple of weeks, because cards go up and they go down, and just buying it at the right moment, guys. But like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. Jesus loves you. Collect all the Pokemon, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I made hundreds of mistakes, and this is just like 10 of them. I could make more videos like this. Always appreciate you guys watching to the end. Peace. I'm out.